We begin in Rivers State, where the suspended governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, has called on his supporters to accept the peace deal brokered between himself and the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. Speaking in Port Harcourt after a public outing alongside the minister, Governor Fubara acknowledged the deep disappointment and anxiety felt by many of his loyalists, but emphasized that, in his words, difficult times call for tough decisions and concessions. Fubara openly recognized Wike's critical role in his political rise, stating that the minister's influence in his emergence as governor cannot be wished away. He went on to reveal that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu personally intervened in the dispute, issuing a direct mandate for reconciliation between both men, described by many as political godfather and protege, for the sake of peace and stability in Rivers State.
We have fought. I think in my own assessment and in the assessment of anyone that is here, we genuinely, if you're genuine in this struggle, you will know that we have done what we need to do. At this point, if you want to be truthful to yourself, not lying to yourself, the only solution is peace. I didn't say that there is no price that is too big to pay for peace. I meant it, and I am still ready to follow it to the end. Nobody can take away the role my other played. That's the truth. Yeah, we have our differences that led to this, but nobody here will say he doesn't know the role the man played. Nobody will say he doesn't, nobody can whiz away the risks he took. Yes, at the point we had our differences. And if today there is need for us to settle, please, anyone who genuinely believe in me should understand that it is the right thing to do. Look at the projects that we initiated. Big road have been abandoned. Look at other things that we initiated. Without this crisis, by now I know where we have been. We know the progress we have recorded. We know areas that would have developed these things better than what it is today. So there is need for this peace. That is the truth. Like I said, it's heavy, it's bitter, but we must accept the situation and move on with it.
Meanwhile, the reconciliation between suspended Governor Siminalayi Fubara and the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike appeared to be resonating with many in Rivers State. For the Rivers Women Unite for Sim, a pro-Fubara group, it is a prayer answered. Hence, the women are currently having a Thanksgiving program in appreciation of the return of peace to the state. The Rivers Women Unit for Sim group stood out for the persistence in the demand for the return of democratic rule in Rivers State since the declaration of emergence rule in the state on the 18th of March 2025. All right, joining me now, we have two university dons, Professor Kenneth Nweke and Professor Simon. And they both join me now as we talk about recent political developments in Nigeria, including the peace deal between Governor Fubara and Minister Wike in Rivers State. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me right now.
Yes, very well. Good evening.
Yes, good evening to you. Let me get it straight first of how you felt. How did you feel when the news of the peace deal between Governor Fubara and the Minister Wike, when the news came to you, how did you feel? How did you take that? How did you react to that news? I'm directing this to Professor Kenneth first.
Right, thank you. For me, it was not anything strange because the peace process had begun some months ago. And when it finally came, it wasn't surprising that it did come because in politics, there is nothing sacrosanct. No position even the peace pact today or the truce, there's nothing that is sacrosanct. Anything can change anytime, any day. And so I do not expect, or I didn't expect anything different from what had happened. Earlier, I had said, severally that, of course, in these coming days, we'll be seeing them going out for outings and all of those to as part of a peace building process or confidence building process that will eventually return a man to government house. And so it didn't come as a surprise to me because it was well expected that that is the only way for progress development to thrive in the oil-rich river state.
All right, Professor Nna, if you can hear me very well, did you feel the same way just as Professor Kenneth, or did you feel differently?
Well, I don't feel differently. I saw it coming because the overtures by the governor showed that he wants to return to office. Even though the social media was saying he was not keen on returning to office, but I'm going to meet Minister Wike. I'm going to visit the president both in UK and in Abuja. Shows that he was eager to return to power. And some of these things, politicians will always be politicians. So at the end of the day, I don't see anything strange in what's going on, because once tasted power, he wants to be there. So whatever it will cost him to get back to office, he's willing to sacrifice. According to him, he even said it. And yesterday they were together in a burial. And I'm sure today we've not had the news because Fubara's wife's birthday is today. I still believe that they are going to pay a return visit to grace the birthday of the wife. So it's an ongoing thing. In politics, I think it was the late sage, Pa'au, that said no permanent friend, no permanent enemy, but permanent interest. So that's what is going on. It's just permanent interest.
Professor Ken, what impact do you think this reconciliation will have on politics and governance, especially in Rivers State?
Yeah, it has to be looked at from two different perspectives. Yeah, the followers of the FCT minister on one side and the followers of Governor Fubara on the other side, talking about impact, including politics and governance. And so you would have a situation where those who were his followers, the governor, may not be as much as he got before now, because again, it is dependent on why they were following him as at the time. Probably some of them may not like the face of the FCT minister for one reason or the other. And so the followership, if it was 10 before, of course, and then again, the manner in which the governor is also approaching it is also one thing that will also determine how many people want to follow him. So if the proper thing is done, where you encourage your followers, to follow you, and that assure them of adequate protection and assimilation, into this new, this is a new group now, which of course could have been seen as an old group, So if that's the tune, that the suspended governor is taking, that would have also helped a lot in maintaining his level of followership. But I don't think that that's what he is doing right now. And so, and that's where he needs to be cautious in the manner he is handling it. Otherwise, he will lose his followership more than 50%. And then, on the side of the FCT minister, of course, his followership is intact. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yes. His followership is intact. His followership, that's the FCT minister, is intact. And of course, it also depends on how he himself also handles it and how he's also able to approach it, to give a level playing ground for all followership, the duo and all that, so that everybody that is also in the fold, the new old fold, will feel safe. And so when you do that, of course, in terms of politics, there will be less acrimony, there will be less bitterness. But when it is a winner takes it all syndrome, about the FCT minister's followership and the manner he also will handle it, and the manner in which the present suspended governor is also, communicating this to his followers. All of this will determine in the upcoming days the level of politics that we will be expecting, leading to 2027. On the part of governance, of course, we will expect nothing else than better governance, because as I speak to you, the streets of Port Harcourt are smelling, of refuse in some parts. If you go to a warfare area, all of those areas, some parts of Port Harcourt, the presence of governance is not felt, with the absence of the suspended governor. And so when we have him return, to government, or to the seat of power, of course, it can never be the same. Governance would improve no matter how, anybody may look at it. But again, the impact of politics and governance in all of these things, I would always say that if the interest of the generality of Rivers people are not being considered first, rather than the interest of a few of them, then this peace pact, of course, may be short-lived or may suffer some setback, even as leading to 2027 election. Because the greater number of Rivers people are the voters who are neither followers of Hubara or neither followers of FCT minister. And so they are greater in number. And so it means that in terms of governance, it is now the time for the governor, if he eventually returns, to work in tandem with whatever interest that the FCT minister may have, but may they not, jeopardize the interest of the rest of Rivers people in terms of majority, and otherwise the impact of governance, will be very, very negative and very, very colossal when you assess that.
Well, let me come to you, Professor Simon. How confident are you that this peace deal would some sort of translate into real unity and improved governance rather than political convenience?
Well, I think it's political convenience. And I will say why I'm doing that route. Because if you see some of the concessions that were given, it's like the FCT minister has an upper hand. And I think devil is in the details of what has gone on so far. It's a no-brainer that the essence of all this is a control of Rivers State. Going by what we have heard, if that is true, that the FCT minister is to appoint all the, chairmen of the local governments, you'll see that, this peace talk may be a piece in the graveyard, because a sitting governor will just be there and somebody else will appoint all the local government chairmen. And then what do you expect him to do? Just sit and watch. Recall that the RIPSEC that he set up was disbanded, and the unconstitutional governor that's appointed administrator now has, sworn in a RIPSEC that will take the elections. And from what we're hearing, except there's a change of guards, we're hearing that the administrator will, conduct the local government elections. So it's about, controlling Rivers State. Now, how many people will take that? No matter how humble the governor is, I think somewhere along the line, this peace pact may have issues, except they come back home and look at these things again. We are all human beings. If you're sitting on somebody else, just because I one of the quotes today, he said that the FCT minister remains his benefactor and they will forever be grateful because he made enemies for him and things like that. Yeah, talk is cheap, but when it comes to the nitty-gritty of implementing those things you say, it becomes a different ballgame. So I believe that they should sit down, the FCT minister, the governor, that will come back any moment from now from what we're hearing, and then the state assembly sit down and renegotiate these issues it will not be proper. We are all humans, like I said before. It will not be proper that an FCT minister will come and nominate all the local government chairmen. Recall that he had issues with the foreign minister, Amechi, when he was governor. And as he is claiming to have brought Fubara to office, it was Amechi that, okay, he had issues with Amechi somewhere along the line, but it was Amechi that brought him to limelight, and he had issues with him, and he never allowed Amechi to have any say in Rivers State. So at least he should mellow it down. The way it's going, I don't think it is right. On governance, I think when the governor comes back, he should face squarely the governance of Rivers State and leave politics for now. Because from what is going on in the politics, you have seen that even at the national level, they have abandoned governance. They are now talking of 2027. Look at what is happening even in the ruling party. You know, so everybody is talking about 2027. But I will advise Fubara to concentrate on governance and forget 2027 now until that time, when that time comes. Because Sera, whatever will be, will be. So it doesn't matter if it's now or if it starts later when he feels it's stabilized.
All right, thank you so much, gentlemen, for this conversation. But we're not done yet. We'll be moving over now to something totally different, but that'll be after this break. Stay with us. Of course, it's still news now right here on News Central. I still have here with me Professor Kenneth, who is a professor of politics and governance. He joins us. He's been joined us already from Port Harcourt, while we have Professor Nna, a professor of strategic studies, who's joined us from Lagos. Now, we talked about Fubara and Wike earlier. Let's now talk about the APC. And I'll start with you, Professor Kenneth. With what is happening right now in the change of leadership, Ganduje stepping down as the APC chairman, now, what's your reaction to that development?
Of course, you know, even the circumstances that brought Ganduje to that position, you know, was, I mean, the circumstances were so fraught with a lot of, you know, reactions, you know, across the party lines. But because of the interest of the president and the leader of the party, and so they had to manage him up to this point. And so in politics, the people are being sacrificed, you know, for whatever reasons. You know, positions are being sacrificed. You know, once you are used to achieve whatever objectives that they want to achieve, they push you off and then get somebody else. You know, because it's all about interest of leaders. And so at this point, there is the need to focus on the north, especially you know, between the northeast and the northwest. And so northwest, of course, you have a lot of votes coming from there. And so there may be, you know, a plan to rejig the leadership of the party in such a manner that, of course, probably you push the party leadership to one part of the north, and then maybe zone the running mate to another part that you think may be very strategic to 2027 election. So all of these things are, you know, political calculations by the Tinubu-led, you know, APC government, you know, towards clinching onto power in 2027. Of course, you won't sit down if you were Mr. Tinubu to watch this even movement, you know, about coalition to unseat you, you know, democratically. And so all you need to do is to, you know, perfect certain strategies that would get enough votes for you. And so if it meant to sacrifice Ganduje's position, you know, for that to happen, of course, it is happening. And Ganduje has also had his own share, you know, of the government since he became the acting chairman of the APC. And so, and this is the time for him to go, you know, sacrificially. He has made his own mark, been used for the purpose for which he was brought in, and he has the act 1 scene 1 is over, and then move on to another scene. So that's how politics is all about. And so I don't see anything wrong in Ganduje resigning. It's all about the political gimmicks leading to 2027 election for Ahmed Tinubu.
All right. Let me ask you, Professor Nna, what do you think is the way forward now for the APC? As Remo has it right now, there's a likelihood that the President Secretary to the Federation, George Akume, might resign and become the APC chairman. What do you think is the way forward for the APC at this point? All right, it appears we lost signal with Professor Nna. Hopefully he can join us some other time on News Now. Moving on, still on political matters, former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi is taking aim at the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, over his state visit to the Caribbean nation of St. Lucia. Obi described the timing of the trip as both ill-timed and insensitive, citing the growing hardship, insecurity, and natural disasters affecting millions of Nigerians. The criticism comes after the President's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, confirmed that Tinubu would depart on Saturday as part of efforts to strengthen ties with Caribbean nations and promote South-South cooperation. But Obi, in a strongly worded statement, questioned why the President would choose this moment for a foreign visit. He pointed to the widespread hunger, deadly floods, and ongoing security challenges as reasons the President should stay and lead from the front. Obi specifically referenced the devastation in Minna, Niger State, where recent floods reportedly claimed over 200 lives and left many still missing. He also dismissed President Tinubu's recent trip to Benue State as nothing more than a political jamboree, rather than a genuine condolence visit. The criticism underscores the mounting public pressure on the presidency to address urgent domestic crisis. Security operatives have successfully rescued 13 passengers abducted from Benue Link bus at Eke in Okpoku local government area in Benue State. The rescue was a joint effort led by police and local vigilante groups, supported by youths from neighboring Kogi State, who increased pressure on the kidnappers. The kidnappers abandoned the victims at Oando village on Sunday afternoon. Benue local government area Chairman Ada Inalegu confirmed the operation, highlighting the role of improved security surveillance and logistics provided by Governor Hyacinth Alia. The abductees are currently being profiled before reunification with their families. This rescue follows intense forest combing and security operations after the bus was ambushed on June 22, with one passenger escaping earlier to report the incident to authorities. The Northern Elders Forum (NEF) has called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to declare a state of emergency in northern Nigeria over the unabating insecurity challenges, as it condemned the killing of over 20 soldiers in Bangi Mariga local government area of Niger State. In a statement signed by the spokesperson of NEF, Professor Abubakar Jidere, the NEF expressed pain over the brutal killing of the soldiers in an ambush by terrorists in the area and described it as a total collapse of security in northern Nigeria. Jidere said the boldness demonstrated by the terrorists is an indication of a declaration of war against Nigeria, and added that northern Nigeria is under siege. NEF insists that Nigerians deserve visible, aggressive, and accountable action against non-state actors. Earlier, Abubakar Ismail, who has been monitoring developments in the northern part of the country, shared his thoughts on the worsening insecurity in the region with us on the news. Here are some of his views on the call for a state of emergency.
Will impose state of emergency actually in northern Nigeria, considering how the region is being affected economically, and from all indications, there are allegations where even the military are extorting locals and civilians in some certain rural areas. And then if we go back by the history, back then in 2021, there were declaration of containment orders in the state of Katsina and Zamfara, where we have seen a lot of reports of how the militaries in collaboration with police also are extorting civilians. So the implication is if a state of emergency is being declared, some of the governors may be rendered useless. And then, in terms of democracy, a lot of things where we have not been expecting, we will surely see them. Although what we are advocating, a lot of people have been advocating that the state of emergency should be declared. But when we look at the negative impact of state of emergencies in some states, we will not advise to do well into state of emergency, but it does as much as it can to strengthen the security, to rebuild a mechanism that will change the security architecture by empowering state police and other security parastatals in the region. But state of emergency cannot be a solution, considering what is on ground and the allegations on the security agencies in the region.
Still on insecurity, the Socioeconomic Rights and Accountability Project is demanding answers from Nigeria's 36 state governors over the use of security vote. Allocations received from May 29, 2023. In the Freedom of Information request dated June 28th and signed by SERP's Deputy Director, Kolawole Oluwadare, the organization is urging the governors to publicly disclose how the funds have been spent. They also are calling for anti-corruption agencies, specifically the EFCC and the ICPC, to be granted access to monitor and investigate the spending. SERP expressed concern over what it described as a persistent failure by many state leaders to channel these funds towards genuinely improving security. The group warns that a lack of transparency surrounding security vote has opened the door to corruption and weakened public oversight. The organization is giving governors a 7-day deadline to comply. If they fail to respond, SERP says it will head to court to compel disclosure. In Lagos, anger is growing over the demolition of hundreds of homes in Oroshoki. The Take It Back movement says over 10,000 residents have been rendered homeless by what it calls an illegal and inhumane operation. The group is now demanding justice, compensation, and accountability from the Lagos state government. News Central's Sewese Anyo has more.
The rubble of what used to be homes and shops now stretches across Odunfa-Okeeri in Oworonshoki. Thousands of residents have been left stranded, many with nowhere to go.
There are some other people too behind. We don't know why they are coming to trouble us on the land that we bought. My husband is a retired retiree. All our life savings, even with myself too, I will soon leave the service. All our life entitlement that we got in this place, they are destroying every now and then, coming to put problem on us. Please save us.
These people don't know why this demolition had happened. Who are behind the demolition? They don't know. These people actually bought land from a certain Olayinka Koka. And then the Olayinka Koka, or the family of Olayinka Koka, wouldn't even come. The government of the day wouldn't even come to offer them solace.
On Saturday, the Take It Back movement held a press conference at the site, calling the demolition illegal and unjust. The movement claims no compensation or relocation plans were provided by the government.
Because we have heard that after July 12, they are coming back to continue the illegal demolition. And that is exactly why we are here.
This land belongs to us, and we are getting it back. Yes, it's a long walk to this struggle, and we are not relenting. And I want to urge all of us not to relent. For the past 2 years, we have had, last year when we did the 1-year anniversary of this demolition, we recorded evidences of 13 deaths, including women and children. We don't know the unofficial ones, but these are the ones that we can document. This year it has increased officially to 22.
The group estimates that over 10,000 people have been displaced and at least 22 killed since the demolitions happened 2 years ago. It is now demanding compensation and an end to what it describes as forced evictions targeting low-income communities.
The easiest thing a reasonable government would have done
is to simply compensate and try and resettle these people. That is why our 3 key demands are based on one. The people must be adequately compensated. You need to also resettle them. And lastly, as at last year when we were doing the 1-year anniversary, we have recorded official 13 deaths, including children and pregnant women. This year, officially, we have documented 22. So the number kept increasing.
Rights advocates say such demolitions deepen poverty and violate the right to shelter. Displaced communities struggling to survive in the ruins say that they are seeking justice so they can return home and rebuild a normal life. In Lagos, for News Central, Sewesi Anyo.
We'll go on a quick break. When we return, there's more.
From the shores of the lake.
New Central Northeast correspondent Umar Yakubu Kirawa has received the prestigious Humanitarian Journalist of the Year Award from the El Farouk Foundation in a ceremony held in Abuja. Recognized for his courageous field reporting and humanitarian advocacy, the prestigious award caps a career dedicated to amplifying voices from conflict zones in Borno, Adamawa, Yobe, among other parts of the Northeast. Our correspondent Segir Ibrahim completes the report.
From the shores of the Lake Chad to communities in the hinterland, in Yobe, Borno, Gombe, among other communities recovering from years of insurgency, News Central deep dive to uncover stories of resilience and hope. With the microphone taking the lead is Umaru Yakubu Kirawa, who speaks to families, amplify their voices, and create an indelible impact. In Abuja, the leadership of El Farouk Foundation honors Kirawa for the sustained fearless reporting in conflict zones and humanitarian impact.
From the street of Maiduguri to remote communities of different local government across Borno and Lake Chad region, Umaru has constantly demonstrating professionalism and deep humanity in his reporting. He has risked his safety to bring truth to light, highlighting both pain and progress, and shaping how people see our region. And I think behind every strong journalist is a platform that empowers them. So that's why we also extend our heartfelt appreciation to News Central, a media house that has not just spotlighted Northeast, but has invested in telling our stories.
As the head of Northern Operations, Umaru has never given me problem one day. He's contributing positively with a very, very easy attitude. That is who Umaru is. And I'm proud to say Umaru embodies the spirit of News Central. We're a young station, but we're ambitious. Our ambition does not just eye the Nigerian news media space. We are thinking of Africa and the world.
The founder and executive director of El Farouk Foundation, Umar Ahmed, praised Kirawa's courageous storytelling and unwavering commitment to bringing neglected human suffering to national and global attention.
It is our honor to present Umaru Kirawa with a Humanitarian Journalist of the Year 2025 award. And it is first ever of its kind from us, El Farouk Foundation.
I want to most sincerely appreciate News Central for creating an enabling environment for me to showcase my talents, to provide an avenue for the people to voice out their concerns. And most importantly, I want to appreciate the type of people I work with. So I see this award as a veritable tonic for me to do more.
Kirawa is also a recipient of several laurels like the Inclusive Leader West Africa finalist of the 2024 Africa and Middle East Gender Mainstreaming Awards, Peace Advocate by the Universal Peace Federation, and Pache, among others. In Abuja for News Central, Sagir Ibrahim.
In Nigeria, the going out for fun activities is often a welcome escape from the hustle and the bustle of daily life. However, leisure is beginning to feel like a luxury. As inflation bites harder and essential costs soar, many Nigerians are rethinking how or if they can afford to unwind. News Central business correspondent Chairman Dabeng asked Nigerians if leisure activities are still on the priority list.
It's pretty much worldwide knowledge at this point that Nigerians love to have a good time. But these days, due to high rates of inflation, FX challenges, cost of transportation, many have had to make very difficult decisions. To survive or to YOLO, that is the question. According to a report by Nigerian investment and savings platform PiggyVest, Nigerians spend 83% of their budget on groceries, 48% on transportation, while utility and other bills take up 38%, but clubs and social activities take 8%. We engage with Nigerians to understand whether leisure activities that involve spending money still hold significance in their daily lives.
For me, I think whether or not the economy is down, you cannot rule out leisure because it's you living life basically.
I'll say it's priority to me because I prioritize my work for now, working and having that money.
I don't think it's wise to prioritize leisure activities because you have to put into consideration things that are more important to you. You know, it should be need versus wants.
In the grand scheme of things, going to places like the cinema or the paintball field may seem trivial, but these leisure activities in Nigerian parlance keep the body and soul together, which is imperative to the sustenance of Nigeria's greatest resource, human capital. The mental stability of the working Nigerian is important to ensure optimal productivity.
We have different kinds of hormones in our system, and those hormones help us to perform better, help us to run our lives, and help us to put things in the right perspective when it comes to functionality.
As more individuals are tightening their purse strings and survival is taking center stage, the cost of enjoyment is no longer just about money, it's about priorities. So what happens to leisure-focused businesses when for many Nigerians, living has become their only luxury?
First of all, leisure businesses in Nigeria, they are under life support. The reason being that cost of running businesses now in Nigeria has skyrocketed to over 200 to 300%, and you can't increase your services by the fact that the customers, do they have the money to do that? No, they can't. The general report for Nigeria cinemas was 2-3 years ago. The cinema inflow has been by over 100%. If we have like 500 intakes in Nigeria generally in 2023, 2022, 2021, as about last year, we have less than 150,000 to 200,000.
When there was a disruption in the global supply chain, people lost jobs, and when you don't have jobs, you don't have much money. When you don't have much money, what do you want to do? You want to make sure you focus on the bills that matters first. The strategy for you to strive through changes in the external environment of which you have no control. You know, what you do, one of the greatest strategy is what we call innovation. And innovation could be product innovation, it could be business model innovation, and it could be product innovation or process innovations.
As Nigeria navigates an era defined by economic strain and soaring living costs, leisure has become less of a luxury and more of a calculated indulgence, making it even clearer that for many, survival now takes precedence over escape. In Lagos for News Central, I am Chamun Dabeng.
Coming up, tragic bus collision claims 38 lives in Tanzania. We'll tell you more after the break. Join us again. A devastating road accident struck Sabasaba in Tanzania's Kilimanjaro region Saturday evening when a bus and a minibus collided after a tire puncture caused the bus driver to lose control. Both vehicles caught fire, resulting in the deaths of 38 people, including 2 women. The presidency on Sunday reports that 36 out of the victims remain unidentified due to severe burns, while 28 others were injured and 6 are still receiving hospital care. Deadly road crashes are all too common in Tanzania. According to the World Health Organization, up to 19,000 people died in traffic accidents in 2016, far exceeding official figures. Authorities urge vigilance and improved road safety measures to prevent further tragedies. In Niger, the military-led government has officially launched the first session of the Consultative Council for National Refoundation, CCR, on Saturday. The newly formed council is tasked with providing advisory opinions to the junta following the country's July 2023 coup. The CCR replaces the National Assembly, which was dissolved after the coup, marking a significant shift in the country's political landscape.
La refondation d'un pays est un exercice difficile, parfois périlleux, mais toujours couronné de succès pour les peuples résilients. C'est à cet exercice que le peuple...
Je ne vous apprendrai rien, mais dans un contexte où le Niger est confronté à des défis sécuritaires multiples, notamment la lutte contre le terrorisme et la lutte contre la criminalité transnationale.
And now in sports, El Kanemi Warriors have confirmed Kabiru Dogo as the new technical advisor ahead of the 2025-2026 Nigerian Premier League Football League season. The former Accra United and ABS FC coach replaces Aliyu Zubairu, whose contract expired at the end of last season. Dogo, who began last season with Nasarawa United before being dismissed mid-campaign, was officially unveiled by the Maiduguri-based club on Sunday. His appointment comes as El Kanemi prepare to begin pre-season training next week. The club will be hoping his experience helps improve their league performance in the new season. Chris Eubank Jr. and Cornell Ben will clash again in a high-stakes rematch on September 20 in London. The bout, announced by Turkey Alal Shakir, follows their intense April showdown where Eubank Jr. triumphed by unanimous decision in a sold-out event at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The second fight under Riyadh season and promoted by boxer Matchroom and Seller will be contested at 160 pounds with a 10-pound rehydration clause. While Tottenham Stadium remains a likely venue, Wembley Stadium is also under consideration due to its larger capacity. The April bout sold over 60,000 tickets and 620,000 PPVs, setting high expectations for the rematch's commercial and sporting success. And that's all at this hour. But before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories. Suspended Rivers Governor Siminalayi Fubara urges supporters to accept peace deal. Security operatives rescue 13 bus passengers abducted in Benue State. We also told you that Niger's military government has launched an open session of Consultative Council for National Refoundation. Remember, you may send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen, and do follow us on our social media platforms. We are at News Central TV. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, and StarTimes channel 274. We are also available on Avo TV and on YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Chiwete Onyema.